back to my channel. I have a very busy and exciting week for you. I honestly have quite a lot on my plate. This will be the second week back in the semester. So far, the first week has been fine. It was just so hot and just a different routine, so I was kind of out of it, but I feel like I'm gonna do okay this week. My class schedule is relatively chill. Like, I have 2 online and 3 in person, and the 3 in person are like, you know, at reasonable times, but I'm still working part-time, so I'm trying to balance both of those things with my other things that I like to do as well, which one of those is writing my book. So my goal is to write about 15,000 words a week to be able to hit my goal on my deadline for October 1st. So far I just hit 30,000, which is a great milestone. I feel like I'm doing really good so far. It's definitely been challenging. It's a really difficult process, but I really love doing it, and I just love getting to be with my characters and like making the story come to life. So I do have to balance school and work and reading with writing as well, because I'm trying to get this first draft done. But I also want to keep up these reading vlogs because I love doing them, and I feel like they're a good way to keep track of my life and also kind of keep me accountable in everything I'm doing. Like, I feel like if I say I'll do something on camera, I have to do it. So last week was honestly very chaotic for me. I did try and film a vlog then. It just didn't really work out how I had planned. So I'm hoping this week's will. But I have so much going on as well. I feel like I always start these at the worst times. My boyfriend's birthday is on Friday, so we'll be celebrating that this weekend. I have a club meeting and like club event going on this week, obviously homework and such. So we're gonna have a lot on our plate, but I will try and make this work as best as I can. We're kind of gonna get in this new routine together of just figuring out what this semester is gonna look like. But I have some exciting news, and that's that this past weekend I finished listening to my audiobook of Queen of Shadows. I was re-listening to this to prepare myself for the tandem read, and I'm so happy to say that I finished it so I can take my bookmarks out. And yeah, this was honestly such a great reread. I forgot how much I love this book, and really it just solidifies itself as my favorite book in the series, at least what I've read this far. But genuinely, it's hard to top this. Like, there's so much going on in this book, and there's so much that happens that I absolutely love every single aspect of it, and the audiobook was just the perfect way to go. I love the narrator. She has amazing voices for every single character, and yeah, I just cannot wait to dive into the tandem read. Unfortunately, I do not think it'll be in this video because I have a crazy week planned, as I just said, but I would like to start it, I think in September. I would really like to start it. I just feel like starting it right now at the end of the month is kind of a lot, so maybe we can start out September with the tandem read. I would love to do that, oh my gosh. But as for my TBR for the rest of this week, for the rest of this video, my top priority is to finish Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. I've been reading this for probably the entire summer. I've been buddy reading this with my friend Haley. I'm sure it's in so many of my videos now, but really I've just had a tough time with this. I'm loving it, I'm enjoying it. I haven't been consistent with it. That's really been the only thing. So I read a bit today. I'm on page 170, so literally like halfway through. And genuinely, I think I can do it. I think I just have to make myself sit down, give myself some dedicated reading time to actually like devote my full attention to this. And I think it can happen. So this is my top priority. I would love to finish it this week, especially so I can talk to Haley about our thoughts finally. And then another book I've been reading is A Forbidden Alchemy by Stacey McEwen. This is a library book, and it is also a new release. I started it I think a week and a half ago, and I'm only on page 172, but I've had some issues with this book. I think I'll have to go into it with you at a later time in this video, just because what time is it? It's 10 p.m. I need to go to sleep soon. But I've just had some mixed feelings about this book so far, and part of me wants to keep going, but the other part of me is totally fine to DNF it. Like, I feel weird to DNF it since a new release, and since I've already read like nearly half of it. But the half that I've read, I feel very iffy about. So I'm sorry to like kind of tease you with a big rant review right now, but I don't have the mental capacity at this very moment. But I promise you will hear my full thoughts on that soon. As for another potential read, I really don't want to get ahead of myself and like be too ambitious and put too many books on the table for this video and on my plate for this week. But I've been really dying to read The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This is my Fairly copy. But I've seen so many people love this, and I loved One Dark Window when I read it this summer. Still haven't read the sequel, but I'm just kind of itching to get to this. I feel like I will absolutely love it. So while I'm like kind of waiting for the tandem read to come my way and for it to be a good time for that. I think this will be a great fantasy read to fill the void. I've heard great things. I love like a quest story. I love kind of like a knight, and I think it's like a priestess in this, and it just seems very gothic, very like medieval-y, and I just love that. And I've heard there's a talking gargoyle too. Like, literally what else would I need to convince me to read this? Say this is my tentative TBR for this week. I also have a potential audiobook. I Am Not Jessica Chen by Anne Lang. I've read so many of Anne Lang's books. Actually not so many, I think it's only 3 that I've read by her. But I really love her as an author. I think her writing is great. And I had heard good things about this one and seen it when she had announced it to come. I think it's kind of dark academia-ish, but I want to catch up on her backlist of works because I do love her as an author. So yeah, we'll see how the next couple of days go. Everyone, it is not the next day. It's Tuesday now, and I started this on Sunday. I feel like my head is not on my shoulders, but I had a very chill and fun and relaxing weekend. I spent it with my boyfriend at his grandma's house, but after a very fun and kind of relaxing weekend, a very much needed chill weekend, we're back to the busyness. So yesterday actually wasn't that bad. I just had classes and like a couple other things to do, but me and my boyfriend went to see Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire at the drive-in, which was so much fun. As you saw, I filmed a couple clips. Genuinely, that was so much fun, like seeing Harry Potter in like a drive-in theater. I never thought that would be possible, and you know, I've seen the movie a million times, so I did snooze a little bit. I fell asleep for just a little bit, but it was so much fun to like have my undivided attention at it. I feel like if I'm watching it at home, it's not the same. The weather was absolutely perfect. Like it is fall weather time, and I know it's probably gonna get hot again and I'm gonna hate it, but it's about like 60 degrees right now, so I'm loving it right now. But I did read a little bit more of Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies yesterday morning, I think, and I'm up to page 190, so about that far. I'm really getting close. I don't even know how many pages this is overall. I think it's like 320 something, so I'm really getting close, and I definitely feel like I can finish this very soon. Honestly, I'm kind of just taking whatever chance I can get to read this during the week, because I feel like it's been hard recently to find dedicated time to sit down and read without feeling guilty for not doing homework or not writing or just like having any other obligation to do. Frankly, I've been very busy recently, but I definitely want to finish this. I've been reading this for so long, and it got really, really good in the parts I read yesterday, and I'm just dying to know how this ends. But I also did start a new audiobook yesterday. I can't remember if I told you about it or not, but it is I Am Not Jessica Chen by Anne Lang. I'm about 15% through on chapter 3, and so far this is kind of similar to her other works. We have a bit of magical realism, and it basically follows this girl named Jenna Chen, who is always trying to be like an overachiever. Like, she faces very harsh pressures from her parents as immigrants, but also just like in her daily life, because she has a cousin named Jessica Chen whose family is like much more well off than her, so she always suffers from the comparison of Jessica's family to her own. Like, they're kind of more middle class. Jessica's family is a bit more upper class. Like, they basically have a mansion. So in the first couple chapters, Jenna is essentially very heavily comparing herself to Jessica and Jessica's life, even though she had like they had the same expectations placed upon them by their parents to, you know, get good grades, do well in school, do a lot of extracurriculars, and eventually get into an Ivy League. The book starts off with Jenna reading her Harvard rejection letter, basically. She felt a lot of pressure to get into Harvard, and she didn't. And so they go to a family gathering at Jessica's house where it's revealed that Jessica did get into Harvard. And so they're celebrating, and then they basically pressure Jenna to open this email even though she already did. She already knew she got rejected, and that was just such a miserable scene to listen to. I felt so bad for her. And so she, you know, reveals that she didn't get into Harvard, and they're trying to be like okay about it, but really they're all just like, oh my gosh, like it's kind of like a how dare you moment, you know. It's so sad. Another person who's there is their childhood friend named Aaron, who did like a study abroad thing in Paris, so he's also very accomplished and very, very smart, and so Jenna is also comparing herself to him. And so basically she's kind of upset. They go sit outside, and Jessica and Aaron come sit with her, try and comfort her, and a shooting star appears in the sky, and Jenna basically wishes that she could be Jessica Chen, her cousin. What do you know, the next day she wakes up and she is Jessica Chen. So it's a really cool twist. I really like the magical realism aspect and how Anne Lang writes that like so flawlessly into her stories. Like, it makes it feel so real, and there's no like big explanation. It just feels very seamless, and like the magic part of it is real. So I'm excited to see what happens with Jenna and Jessica's body. I feel like that's a really interesting dynamic, especially when she was just going on so much about how she's jealous of her and how she's comparing herself to her. So I hope she learns some good lessons and doesn't screw up Jessica's life or her own too bad. But yeah, definitely plan to continue listening to this throughout the week. So that's all I have time for now. I do have to leave for work like right this second, but I will update you soon. I know I wore this sweatshirt at the beginning of the video, but it's very comfy. I wanted to talk to you today. Today is Friday. It's actually my boyfriend's birthday, so happy birthday to him. Truly, I have not been reading that much. It's the second week of school and they're already giving me so much. Like, why? Why do you have to do that? I can't remember where I said I was last in Emily Wilde, but I'm up to page 195 and I'm so close. Like, literally, if I can get to page 200, I'll have 115 pages left, I believe, about that. So I'd really like to finish this weekend. I work tonight, so I'm hoping I can get a bit of that in if I'm not having to do homework or do work stuff. And then I did promise you that I would give you my thoughts on A Forbidden Alchemy by Stacey McEwen. And I think I've come to terms that I'm going to DNF this book. Not because it was bad necessarily, I just don't think this was executed in a way that worked for me. Basically, in this book, you're following Nina and Patrick, who come from some of like the poorer cities in this world. It's kind of like the slums, but every child at like 12 years old has to go to Belvedere City to see if they have magic, to become either an artisan or stay a crafter, basically like a miner, whatever like practice they have in their slum town. But the artisans live in Belvedere City and they do arts, literature, philosophy, like kind of all of the like revered subjects, while like mining and kind of like the hard labors are for the poorer cities. But they discover a big secret about how magic is found in people. I'm not gonna say anything even though it happens at the beginning of the book, just because I feel like it's really cool. And basically that changes the trajectory of their lives, and just the story throughout this book is something they discover early on. So I really like the premise of this book, and I do like both Nina and Patrick as characters. I think their dynamic is really compelling just because they come from similar places but they end up in two different spots in this world. Like, they're basically complete opposites. However, the one thing that keeps getting to me is the pacing, because we start when the main characters are 12 years old. They meet for the first time at this magical test thing, which is where they discover the big secret, the big truth that they're not supposed to know. And then we go through a couple years in Nina's perspective, where she's like 13, she's going to this school now, and she's becoming a really powerful and important person in this city. And then the point I got up to last is when Patrick and Nina reunite, and they're both like 25. So I've read about 175 pages, not even halfway of this book, and we've already lived like the whole life of these characters. And it makes sense, like it works fine, but I like to really get to know my characters, and I feel like I just time dumped a bunch. I feel like I didn't really know them. I didn't see their progression. I didn't see how their thoughts and opinions changed as they grew up and as they became accustomed to the lifestyles that they're living. And so I feel like the whole point of this book is the romance between them, and I feel like the fantasy setting in this is just that. It's just a setting. There's world building, but it's not as much as I would have liked for a story like this, for something that claims to be as large as something like this. And so there's a rebellion growing, which really was promising to me, but at this point I just don't care to find out what happens, because I'm just thinking about other books that I want to read that I think I will enjoy a lot more than this. So I'm sad to DNF like a new release, especially because I've heard really crazy things about the ending. Like, I've heard it's really wild, but I feel like we've jumped so much through time that it's not believable. It's not realistic to me anymore. Like, I feel like I was just told all this stuff about Nina and Patrick, and I didn't get to truly see them and didn't truly get a glimpse of their actual character. I was just told that, and now we've skipped to like the good part. And I'm like, well, what happened during all those years? Like, we started when we were 12. That's basically 13 years that we didn't really see, and I feel like that was really important. And maybe it's probably wasn't the author's goal. She wanted this to be adult, which is fine, but I would rather it have been like a prologue when they find out this big secret when they're both 12 years old and they meet for the first time. Skip all the other stuff and then jump right into the story as they're 25, as they're reuniting. Yes, we would have still missed out on like their experiences and how they grew up, but I feel like it's way more compelling of a story to have these two characters reunite, and then we learn their past as they open up to each other, as they reconnect and get to know each other. I feel like that would make such an engaging story instead of just like giving me a chapter in like random years of their life. Like those things didn't really feel important. I know it was to build the tension for the rebellion and the war going on, but it really just killed the character development for me. So unfortunately, I think I'm just gonna take my bookmark out. I feel like this is wrong, but I haven't thought about this book in the past week and I don't remember what happened. So you're done. I also have made quite a bit of progress in my audiobook, which is I Am Not Jessica 10 by Anne Lang. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's definitely your stereotypical YA novel. We've got a lot of like parental kind of dialogue because the parents in this book have immigrated from China, so it's kind of that talk of like academic validation because of your parents' pressure, because of their life and what the sacrifices they made for these characters. There's a lot of interesting themes going on and I'm really enjoying it, but I'm up to about 35% through, so I'm excited to continue that. I've just been listening kind of casually. It's not the best book ever, but I'm curious to see what happens. And part of me really wants to start another book because I just feel like I need something. Like I've been reading this for so long and I feel like I need something fresh in my mind, but I'm really scared to pick something else up because I've been disappointed by the past couple books that I've read, which is really sad. But I'm not gonna let the slump get the best of me because I'm most definitely in a reading slump right now. Like I think I just need to say it and accept it. But I have DNFed like 3 books recently, which like I try not to do that, but also I'm okay with doing that because if I'm not enjoying a book, I'm not gonna force myself to finish it. I would much rather read something else that I will enjoy a lot more. So like I said at the beginning of this video, I think I'm gonna pick up The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This was a contender at the start, but now I definitely think I'm going to start this because I love Rachel Gillig's writing, so I really have a good feeling about this, and it definitely feels like a fantasy book that is well thought out and has actual world building. That was my thing with A Forbidden Alchemy, is just it wasn't enough for me. I feel like I need to feel like this world is real. So I'm so excited to start this. I have to go to work in like an hour, so I think I might try and read like 50 pages of this just to like get into it, because if I don't start it, then I'm not gonna start it this weekend. And then hopefully going into next week, I can make more progress. actually I don't want to do anything today. Like, the long weekend really messed me up because I just want to hop back into there and sleep all day. But I have to go to work today and I have class today. But it's officially September, so happy spooky season officially. I know some people might be like, what do you mean? Like, it's not even October. Why are you saying it's spooky season? And that's because for me, spooky season starts September 1st. It's officially fall in my mind. I don't even care what you think. But like, the fall vibes started yesterday, so catch up. But I wanted to give you a quick update on the progress I've made in Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I am so close to the end of this. I definitely think this week is the week that I'm finishing this. I have been reading like here and there over the weekend. Not very big chunks because it was a really busy weekend for me, but I'm on page 270 of 317, so I am so close. And I can't remember what I said my progress was on The Night and the Moth, but I have started this. I'm absolutely loving it so far. It is so well written, so atmospheric, and I genuinely can't remember what I said, but I'm on chapter 3, which is page 27, So, reading lots of great books right now. I'm excited to start a new one after I finish Emily Wilde. I'm not sure what that will be yet. We'll have to see what my library holds are doing. But to kick off spooky season yesterday, my boyfriend and I went to see Weapons, the new movie that just came out. Well, like a month ago it came out, but we just saw it. And I'll tell you this, like, obviously I won't spoil anything for you if you haven't seen it, but I was so excited for this movie. Like, I was so hyped up. The trailer was so good, and I loved the trailer especially because it didn't show everything that was supposed to happen. Like, it didn't give away much. It literally just gave you the most basic premise with like spooky, eerie, creepy vibes. And I was sold. I was like, okay, all these kids going missing in the middle of the night and no one knows why, and they're running with their arms out like that. Like, sign me up. That's freaky. And I will say, I think I love that the trailer was made that way, but I think it also disappointed me a bit because the movie was different. Like, I enjoyed it, but like, I would have done it so differently if I was making this movie. Like, I think I just expected something completely different out of it. So like, it was an enjoyable watch. I definitely recommend like watching it if you get the chance. And if you like horror movies especially, I definitely think it's worth a watch. Because it's a unique idea. Like, it's original, and it's not like a sequel of something, and it's not like a remake of something. The idea, I had never seen anything like that before, so that's why I was so intrigued by it. It's just the way they told the story was really, it just didn't really work for me. Like, in some ways it worked, but in other ways I was like, what is this trying to do? Like, I don't know, it just wasn't very effective in its storytelling. So that's very vague, I'm so sorry, but I do not want to give anything away. If anyone is watching this and hasn't seen it yet, definitely go watch it. So yeah, I am kind of sad to say that I was a bit disappointed by it, but I was. I had expected one thing and I got something else, but it's fine. I'm glad we saw it. It was a very fun time, and it was just nice to like watch a horror movie in the theaters again. Like, I miss that feeling. It was so good. But now, especially because I was kind of underwhelmed by that, I really want to read horror books. Like, I really want to get back in to listening to my spooky podcast. I listen to Creepcast, if anyone knows what that is. Love it. But I also want to try and read or like listen to more horror books, more thriller books, just because they're so good. So I was told about this one book called Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. I've heard really good things about this. My manager at work told me it was super good. I want something to scare me. That's my thing. I think like the movie Weapons, it had scary scenes, but I don't know. I think I was just so distraught about my feelings for it that I couldn't really get into the scary scenes. Like, I couldn't suspend my disbelief enough or something. So it was scary. Like, there were some things that did freak me out, but I want something to spook me. I think I'm just immune to it now because I've watched so many horror movies, but we'll see. Hello everyone, I have quite a few updates for you. So it's currently Saturday and I'm actually going to end the vlog today, right now, but I have finished 3 books since I last talked to you, which I feel like is really crazy. Like, who am I? If you can't tell, I did kind of decorate my room for fall. I'm kind of happy with how it turned out. I would like to get a couple more things, and honestly, decorating just made me want to rearrange and redo my entire room. But overall, I'm very happy with how it looks, and I'm very excited to maybe get some more decorations, I'm not sure. But I will quickly take you through the books that I finished in this video, and also the ones that I started. So the first one being Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. I did finish this earlier this week, I just hadn't had the chance to update you. I think I finished it on Tuesday. But yeah, overall I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I did really enjoy it. I just think I couldn't fully immerse myself in it, so it took me like 2 months to read, which is outrageous, but I didn't mind reading it slower. I did have a good time, and I'm glad I took my time with it. I feel like I got to know the characters really well. Even though I couldn't 100% connect with them, I still really enjoyed being in Emily's head. And the events really reminded me of like a Holly Black book. Like, it reminded me of the Cruel Prince series and kind of just the world with the fairies and everything like that. So I'm excited to continue this series. I don't know if it'll be like a priority or anything, but I am really looking forward to reading the next book, and I really had fun like annotating it. I didn't go too crazy, but I did annotate it, and it was really enjoyable. Sorry, the lighting is going kind of crazy right now. But then I did finish listening to I Am Not Jessica Chen by Anne Lang, and I gave that 4 out of 5 stars as well. It was really good. It was probably my second favorite out of the Anne Lang books I've read. First one is If You Could See the Sun, second one is I Am Not Jessica Chen, and the third one, I'm blanking on the title. Is it called This Time It's Real? I think those are the only books I've read by her. I really like this story overall. It's definitely a YA book. There are a lot of things that the main character did that she just missed the mark. I'm like, this could have been fixed if you could just get over yourself. However, I did have a good time, and the overall like message of everything and kind of like the resolution, I thought it was well done. So I do still love Anne Lang as an author. However, I hope she writes more adult stuff because I think her writing is phenomenal. I just am not really a YA contemporary girl anymore. I think I've moved past that. However, I still would like to give some other books of hers a shot just because I do really like her. So that one was an audiobook, and then I did also finish an audiobook today. It took me 2 days to read, so I haven't talked to you about it at all, but it's Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. I don't even know how to say the last name, but I listened to this on an audiobook, and so this book is a thriller. I thought it was horror going into it, but it definitely is a mystery thriller. It follows the main character Mallory Quinn, who is in rehab for her drug addictions, and she essentially gets hired as a live-in nanny for this family, and she's babysitting this kid named Teddy. But a lot of spooky things start happening with Teddy. He's doing these really eerie drawings of like a woman being murdered in the forest, and it's just definitely not something a 5-year-old child should be drawing. And he claims to have this imaginary friend named Anya, and so Mallory kind of freaks out and tries to tell the parents, but they have weird rules about their household and how they're raising Teddy, so they don't really believe her. So she has to ask for help from a lot of different people. Overall, I thought the story was really well done. There were a lot of clever things in there that, like, looking back on the full book now, I really appreciate. I thought the writing was good. The narration was also very good. One thing I really loved about this book is that the main character Mallory was smart. Like, nothing went over her head, or if she didn't know something, it wasn't because she was written to be stupid. Like, she had a lot of common sense. So like, if something wasn't explained or if she didn't know the answer to something, it wasn't because it was right in front of her face and she just missed it because she was dumb. It's because it was a genuinely puzzling or confusing thing, so of course she wouldn't understand it. So that's one thing I really want to give this book props for, is that it didn't make me hate the female main character. Most thrillers I read, I feel like the FMC is just dumb, and so therefore I can't enjoy the book because I can't enjoy the character, because I'm just screaming at her, it's right in front of your face. Like, how are you so dumb to not see that? But Mallory was not like that, so I definitely enjoyed her. The only thing that stopped me from giving this a 5-star, because I loved everything about it, is the very end, which I will not say what happens because this is spoiler free. But there was one thing that happened that it felt like a cop-out to me, like right at the very end, when at like the climax, everything crazy was happening. It was just a choice that I was not the biggest fan of. I just feel like it could have been done differently, and it felt kind of stupid in my opinion. I know that's kind of a harsh opinion, but it just didn't seem believable to me. Like, it really didn't. This lighting is horrible right now. I'm so sorry. But overall, I did give it 4 out of 5 stars. I definitely recommend it if you're looking for a fast-paced thriller that really I couldn't really guess anything. Like, it kind of was an underwhelming reveal, underwhelming plot twist, but I don't mind that because it wasn't too crazy that I couldn't suspend my disbelief. Like, it felt realistic. And I did actually start working on a journal spread for it today, so I'm going to finish this up here soon. And then I did make one for Daisy Jones and the Six as well. I just haven't written anything about it yet. And then in this vlog I did show you I started making a spread for Emily Wilde, and I ended up finishing that one, so I'm very happy with it. I changed some things around, so I put the text here, and I think when I made it, it was like in this corner. But I really love how it turned out. But yeah, that's actually all I have for this video. I really hope you enjoyed watching. I hope it was a entertaining, fun vlog in my life, because really it's just me living my life. But yeah, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!